As the chair of appointments and ordinances, I'm going to call this meeting to order at 6:30 and 45 seconds. This meeting is being recorded. And if anyone else there is recording,
You should speak up though, just to, because it will record. Just speak up a little more.
Oh, I thought I was speaking at a normal.
It sounds a little
Volume.
quiet to me, but also my ear.
Okay, I think I'm speaking at a normal volume. But what I was saying is that if anyone else is recording, please let me know. And I will begin this meeting with a roll call vote.
Roll call of members?
That is true.
Yes. Just checking. You said a roll call vote.
A roll call of members. Okay, Counselor Gordon,
Here.
Counselor Garrett,
I am here.
Counselor Williams.
Here.
Counselor Golub is also here. And I have a motion to accept the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion of the minutes? No. Okay. Seeing none, we do not need to take a roll call vote because there was no one online. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That means there are no no's or abstentions. All right, public comment?
It's just an oddball question. Could I sign up for public comment, just like move over technically? No, you can't. If you're a
No.
member of committee. Okay.
Actually, are you certain?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I don't want to test it. I'm just
You
curious.
can't like be both at the same
It'd be
time.
wild.
I don't
Okay,
think.
forget it. That was.
Let's keep it simple.
Yeah, let's move on.
That's a good question. I would
It's-
rather not. Well,
It seems like double dipping to me.
Yeah.
there was a school committee meeting which should happen. So it may be possible if
Oh,
we're
that's
actually
right.
wanting the answer to that question. But let's move on to public hearings, and there are none, so we can move on to motions. All right. And the first motion is on page 16. Can somebody please read page 16?
Order number FY 26-037, the city council moved that it be ordered that the Greenfield City Council pursuant to Charter Section 2-10 affirms the following appointments by the mayor to the following. Crossroad Cultural District Committee, Bella Lavavi, term to expire December 31st, 2026, short term to maintain staggered terms. Michael Lentz and Sarah Robertson, both terms to expire December 31st, 2028. Greenfield Local Cultural Council, Hannah Reckschaffen, term to expire December 31st, 2028. Majority vote required.
Second.
Any discussion?
I appreciate these people volunteering, as always.
Always.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Going to, you want to know the next page?
This is a problem. It's like I have to scroll up and down every time.
Yeah, 27, okay. John, can you read this, please?
Yeah. Just give me that quick. Okay. Order number FY 26039, the city council moved that it be ordered, the appointments and ordinance committee take from the table order number FY 26-008, amend the code of the city of Greenfield as written, the attached here to chapter 550, planning board, sections 550-1, application form 550-7, appeals 550-11, application form and 550-3, review of applications, and further amends the index of the code, and further the non-substantial change of the number of the ordinance be permitted in order that it be in compliance with the numbering format of the code of the city of Greenfield, which was tabled at the July 9th, 2025, appointments and ordinance committee meeting. And would you like me, we wouldn't read the second part unless we,
No, we need to vote first to take it from the
Okay.
table, so I just need a second for that.
Second.
All those in favor of taking this from the table?
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
okay. Can you read the second part, the second motion?
yes, if you give me a second
That's also somewhat admitting to the meeting.
to catch up on my note taking here. I forgot to do the appointments votes.
Thank you for doing that.
Thank you for the reminders. And now we
Easy
are,
to forget. That's the tricky.
it is, yeah, table, detabling? I don't know, we're gonna call it detabling. It's not accurate. Okay, so that's where we're living. Appointments. Thanks. No discussion. Okay, all right.
Great. So bottom of page 27. Can you read that, please?
Bottom of page 27.
Yeah, the order there.
Order number FY 26-008, amend the code of the city of Greenfield as written in the attached here to chapter 550, planning board, sections 550-1, application form 550-7, appeals 550-11, application form and 550-3, review of applications, and further amends the index of the code. And further, the non-substantive changes the numbering of the ordinance be permitted in order that it be in compliance with the numbering format of the code of the city of Greenfield. Majority vote required.
Question?
Wait, we need a second. first.
Oh, second.
Yes, question? Yeah. So is this just ordering? So something's in compliance, or what's the substance of this, please?
Sure, yeah, no, this is what I spoke to, and we can discuss that.
Yeah, this,
Okay.
so now this is on for discussion and you'll see it, what we're just, if it helps to read it. Yeah, this
Okay.
is what we're discussing. And so John's the expert on this one.
Yeah, no, Eric is truly expert. So I spoke to him and I just forwarded everybody the email that he sent. So I'm just gonna, yeah, Eric Tworak. So he's the one that submitted it.
Yeah.
It was neither the planning board nor the ZBA that was involved with this.
Okay.
And so it's strictly from him. So I'm going to read his email. You do have it. So it reads, good morning, Councilor Garrett. Proposed amendments to the general ordinances are what I call housekeeping amendments. For example, the Greenfield Montague Transportation Authority no longer exists. The word town was replaced with the word city. The Department of Planning and Development no longer has a permits manager, so that was amended to the Department of Planning and Development. Meetings are now held at City Hall, so the meeting location was amended. The amendment under section 550-7 appeals was done to match the zoning ordinance amendment that was adopted several years ago relative to appeals under the site plan review and approval section of the zoning ordinance. So I spoke to him on the phone about it. And so this is the substance of that conversation. He felt it was not major changes because it was just matching the zoning ordinance, which is chapter 200, a separate section.
Okay.
So I feel personally comfortable having spoken to him, and having, presented this to you. So I think we should send this to the full council. That's kind of where I'm at on it. It's not as substantive as I thought.
Yeah.
Because of those previous year's amendments, which when we were here in July, we did not know about.
Right.
So that would let us add some questions like, is this a giant change? Do people know about this? Which is why we tabled it,
Right.
which I think was the right choice, but now we have better information.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine and dandy.
Both.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So seeing no further discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those against? None? Abstain? None? Okay, great.
I'm going to write the order number on the notes. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I usually.
Thank you.
Tammy also, God bless her, goes back and watches the recordings of these meetings, is my understanding. So if you miss anything.
Yeah, thank you, Tammy. And I am sorry that you have to listen to us so much, but we appreciate you.
You're ready with that. If you could read the next one.
Or is it on next?
It's on page 29.
Great. Order number FY 26-040. The city council moved that be ordered that the appointments and ordinance committee take from the table order number FY 26-0-10, amend the code of the city of Greenfield as written in the attached hereto, chapter 590 zoning board of appeals, sections 590-7 regular meetings, subsection A, 590-9 application form, and 590-16 reapplication, and further amend the index of the code, and further the non-substantive change of the numbering of the ordinance be permitted in order that it be in compliance with the numbering format of the code of the city of Greenfield, which was tabled at the July 9th, 2025 appointments and ordinance committee meeting. Majority vote required.
Again.
So we'll vote to take this from the table. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Same. Okay. When you're ready, you could read this. Okay. So
Okay, check. All right. Order number FY 26-0110 or 26-0. Yeah, that was correct. Amend the code of the city of Greenfield as written in the attached hereto, chapter 590 zoning board of appeals, sections 590-7, regular meetings, subsection A, 590-9 application form, and 590-16 reapplication, and further amends the index of the code and further the non-substantive changes the number of the ordinance be permitted in order that it be in compliance with the numbering format of the code of the city of Greenfield. Majority vote required.
Second.
now for discussion, do you want to,
This is the second half of that email that Eric sent. So I think,
Yeah.
I will rely on my previous comment.
Any questions about this one?
I'm glad we're housekeeping.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's good.
It is good. Fine. Yeah, okay. So, any more discussion? No. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Abstain. Against? None. Okay, moving on. All right, so we are moving, so we have the section of our meeting. This is probably, I'm just sharing this for your orientation. You probably might know this from the previous meeting, but just so you know, so our meeting, our agendas are separated into things we're anticipating voting on, so motions, and then discussion, things we're anticipating not voting on. And if there are ordinances or amendments to ordinances, if they're under discussion and we haven't yet had a hearing on them, we can't vote on them.
Right.
There are some things that are occasionally under discussion that don't require a hearing that we could vote on.
Okay.
But everything that is there currently, I believe, would need a hearing, which we would, and this is for everyone, then we're gonna let Kathy know which of these things we're ready to have a hearing about next
Okay.
time. So if it doesn't need a hearing, nothing precludes us. If we're all in agreement, we could vote yes on something and pass it to the council.
Okay.
If it's listed under discussion.
Okay.
Okay, so just bear with me for a second. I'm gonna make it easier for myself to see the agenda as we go. I'm opening it up in a different tab. All right, so the first item is the new zero emission first vehicle policy. And I'm going to actually recommend that we table this. And looking through it, I'll also say, just for orientation, at the beginning of this year, the three of us kind of talked about our guiding principles first as a committee of what are the basic things that we're looking for in the process. And we agreed on equity that just happened to have all E's, but equity, enforceability, and expense. And looking through this one, this is really important and exciting. And to really enforce it and really have it. There's a lot of laws that are, or template ordinances, I think, that are copied from other places that have really good intent. But if they're not structured properly at the beginning, really don't lend themselves to implementation. And so I think this is one of them that there's a lot of this is really exciting and I want to see it pass. And in talking to Councillor Garrett and Councillor Wondolowski, we realized that there's a further discussion that we want to have before we bring this for a public hearing and more discussion. Is there anything that you would add to that?
And in addition, Councilor Wondolowski sent us yesterday an updated version of it. So what's currently in the packet isn't even the most recent.
Yeah, that's true.
And so
I did not receive that.
no, she's just sent it.
Sent it to the two
I
of
think I
us.
just forwarded it to everybody, although my brain is a little fritzy.
But we shouldn't forward it to all of us. You
Oh,
send it to Kathy.
Well, fortunately, I didn't. I thought I would. I was intending to, but I didn't.
Okay.
I forwarded you.
Way to move slowly.
So yeah, no, I gave you guys the Eric Twarg email, but I never sent the
Okay.
thing from Laura. So-
I asked her, I responded and I said, I spent a lot of time with this one. I don't want to have to go back and match and make that'll take me more time. I want the three of us to sit down and talk about it.
Yeah, it was yesterday too, so I
Yeah.
had not had a chance to look at it.
Me neither. And
Okay.
so I'm just curious so I'm going to propose that we table this but also just want to hear if in reading it, if you all had any thoughts or questions that you would want us to discuss in our conversation about it.
Sure.
Yeah,
Just a timeline of implementation might be helpful. I know that we have
Okay.
different sized vehicle fleets. So
yeah.
maybe different departments have different implementation timetables. You know, like I think of schools and police being the biggest fleets, obviously. And logistically, it's going to be challenging. The other part was the logistics of who will be ultimately in charge of making the decisions about what kind of vehicle. And, you know, I think Director.
Pause you for 1
Yeah,
second,
of course.
because I'm thinking about where I write this down, but I imagine you're going to be in the conversation and you can keep track of these questions. I don't need to track
I will
them.
do my best to.
So then hold with me for a sec till I get
You want me
to
to just-
Yeah, I'm gonna get, I have a document with like tons of questions about it, and I will track your questions by writing them in the place where I will see them. So just if you don't mind pausing so I can track these.
No, I'm gonna find out what these are. Not even
I
separate.
think there's several committees have already picked over that.
Yeah, well,
container.
Blackberry it is.
Can
That's
you
true.
repeat the questions? I'm gonna write them in this shared document.
If it's possible or reasonable to have a timeline of implementation with different times for different departments, depending on the scale of their vehicle fleets. So I think that would be helpful for making this, again, going back to our guiding principles, enforceable and fiscally possible, because that's obviously with vehicles. They're wicked expensive and, something to consider. And there was a second one. Oh, just the, I think it talks about, you want me to slow down?
No, I got it.
The,
Who makes the decision?
yeah, and there's a mention, at least in the first version, of the department head, but then there's also a mention of the director of whatever Carol Collins' title is. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on it.
Director of Energy and Sustainability.
Thank you. Thank you. You're looking.
Right in front of me. I'm cheating.
No, still. And I think that having clarity on that would be helpful because you don't want to have people marching to different drummers, especially on a big policy.
Yeah,
So this is the two that immediately came to mind when I looked at the first version. Again, not having looked at this other version, I can't address it.
okay. And who makes the purchasing decision? The final.
Yeah, where does the
decision?
buck stop ultimately? Who's the ultimate decision maker?
Okay, or if there's, I don't even know how procurement happens. If there's a procurement person. Okay, great.
So on that, who makes the final decision? So the question also in here was understanding if it's fiscally possible to do this.
Great.
So who decides that?
Right. That's a great question.
Yeah.
Are you-
Yeah, I'm ready.
So, yeah, similarly, I mean, I think I have lots of enforcement questions in general, because I think a lot of our code does a good job of saying who enforces a policy, but not necessarily how a policy is enforced. And I'm not sure if that's how much that might be on purpose. Like, the Office of Energy and Sustainability gets to decide what enforcement looks like, but also I don't want to leave them hanging and like put it on all the onus on those folks to figure out what enforcement actually means. So I guess my question is, what do we mean when we say like, this person enforces it? What is that person supposed to do? And that might be something that we have to figure out as a body. And that's fine. My other question is how this policy is going to account for charging infrastructure, which is potentially about to be decimated in terms of like federal funding and support. So I'm sure that department heads would take that into account, but I think that we should make it explicit.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else. It's on my own.
Well, if you, is there something? Nope. That's just our square up at the top. Yeah, if you have any other questions, if thoughts come up, if you could email them to Counselor Wondolowski, Counselor Garrett, and myself, just to help us track them, that would be great. Okay.
I love the idea of this. I think it's a great.
Yeah, agreed.
The one other thing I.
Yeah,
just
sure.
wanna mention on this is,
Yeah.
This is part of that green communities designation, where there's a new climate leader designation, which is a new designation. And I think I am sure we're 4 out of the 6 pieces of it already. We've done them. And the last 2 are this and the green building code, the stretch code, whatever they call
Okay,
it, which the stretch code is an even bigger.
Search code is a beast.
It's a beast, and there's been legitimate criticisms of it from all sorts of places. So I think that's an even weightier discussion. So, but that's absolutely part of what's going on with
Okay.
us. Because it's ultimately funding. That's the hope.
Right.
yeah, yeah, and I am reluctant to pass any law that even if it's, I mean, I want the funding, I want the, you all know, my politics, I want this to happen, and it needs to be, if we're making a law, it has to be. So All right, so moving on to the next item. Is that ready for that? Okay. So again, I think it's the same, my sense, I haven't talked to any of you about this one, but I had a bunch of questions about this too, fewer, but I think there's still some questions about the implementation of this. I asked Director Twarg to come like 2 days ago. He wasn't able to come today to answer questions. But I would like him to come and have questions about implementation. So I may be able to talk to him about this before the next meeting. I may not, but if either way, I'm curious if we want to, if what you all are thinking about this one. In general, questions, thoughts, and I can track them here too.
So the question I have is right under purpose. For the intent of this ordinance is to develop clear requirements to encourage full participation in the marijuana industry by people from communities that were disproportionately harmed by marijuana prohibition and enforcement? What?
Hmm.
I don't get that.
Huh.
Could you explain that to me?
My understanding is that it's largely for, the Black and brown people who have been very disproportionately arrested in the prison for
Uh-huh.
marijuana related charges.
Okay, got it.
And their
Where-
records not expunged by the state of Massachusetts.
Right.
Okay,
And so it's like all these wealthy young white men who are making lots of money, and the intent of this is to shift that.
got it.
That's my,
Yeah.
that's my reading.
The
Yeah.
the way it's worded was a little,
Yeah, it's very wordy.
okay, now I get it.
This is also, we are out of compliance with state law
We are.
is a piece of this, so we have to have a policy like this of some kind. And so
Okay,
that's why I believe this is coming up.
okay,
And so that's, I think, an important detail. I don't think, being a month more out of compliance is gonna make a difference. We have questions, but that's why this is happening.
okay.
Does anyone know, I apologize for not looking through the 12 MGL references here in the definition section, but is there a formal definition in MGL of social equity business? Because the word
That's a good question.
it's referenced in one way or another throughout this, in section 7, you have a licensed applicant that is pre-verified or verified as a social equity business, but I'm not clear on
Right.
what that means, who does the verification. I don't know if that's a cannabis control commission thing.
6 different NGLs.
I can also just look it up after this meeting.
Right.
Yeah. You could, that would be great. And I'm not going to share this doc. I have a Google Doc of this meeting, which I share with Councilor Garrett, so I'm not going to share it with you because it's going to be out of compliance, but
Yeah.
if I wrote your questions there, if you could email Kathy and then have it emailed to all of us, that would be great.
Mhm.
What else?
Nothing else for me.
Yeah.
I'll share a few questions I said. Notes I took were these 3 categorizations. How do people, get qualified as these things? Whenever it says the city shall, I am highly doubtful and skeptical about that. Including like, you're gonna see the farming ordinance, the city shall post it, nobody posts it. So I'm wondering who will post it, under section 6. What does this mean? There's some things that just aren't clear. Are there enough, at least 50% of these licenses shall be reserved? Do we have enough businesses? Is there a plan to support this amount of business? Like to help people come into business? Like, is that an economic development thing?
The hot button.
Like if they're always, right, I'm not saying that it should be, but I mean, do we have enough to have it be 50%? I would love so, but at the minimum, the city shall take the following actions during the host community waiver negotiations. Again, who is in charge of guiding this process? I don't have interest in checking boxes. I do have interest in being compliance with law, but in actual practice, not just in words. So effectively. So again, there was just, as I scroll down, there was a lot of who will do this. So I'm aiming to share these questions with Director Twarog before next month's meeting. With everything on my plate, I'm honestly not sure if I will be able to, and I guess maybe we'll talk about this when we get to the long list of ordinances, speaking of what. But I, at the very least, have invited him to come to next month's meeting so we can help answer these questions.
Great.
Next pieces are far more simple.
Yeah, social equity business is a marijuana establishment with not less than 51% majority ownership of individuals who are eligible for the social equity program. So maybe this isn't actually helpful. It's going to send us in circles. This ownership qualifies it as an economic empowerment priority applicant as defined by the commission's regulations. So yeah, it is an official cannabis control commission set of regulations that I will look into further.
Great, thank you very much for taking that on. And if they have any guidance about who in a city shall do the thing, I doubt that they do. I bet they leave that up to cities.
Yeah.
But if you see it, if you could flag that, that'd be great.
It's very clear. They have the model ordinance attached and it's the model ordinance.
Yeah, and I'm,
Yeah.
there's so many poorly written laws and not implemented laws out there. This goes up. Okay. So when you all are ready, let me know. Just to move to the next bit. It's on page 54, I believe. Let me double check that. Yeah. All ready for this? Yep. Okay, so. Yeah, Emma Altman. Who staffs the Commission on Disability Access, emailed me about a challenge that their commission and probably other bodies have, which is that because people are on the committee, but then don't show up, they don't have a quorum to meet. So Kathy and I together developed this proposed new ordinance. And the key piece that is different kind of than how it has been, because, only Greenfield residents may hold appointed office. These are things that are, I think we assume to be true. The thing that is new is that section 2, if they fail to attend or has unexcused absences for either 6 consecutive meetings or 1/2 of all meetings held over a 12 consecutive month period, and the chair of the board shall report the matter in writing to the appointing authority and the city clerk's office. The appointing authority is typically the mayor. And then upon receipt of this notification, the appointing authority shall declare the position vacant and appoint a successor. Etc. This is a proposal. Like, I'm curious if anyone has alternative thoughts or pushback. I had thought to email all the boards and see what they thought about numbers. Kathy was like, I don't think we really need to. I'm like, that's fine. But how does this land with you all? Does this seem like the right amount?
I love it.
Okay,
I love it.
okay, great.
A couple of questions that come up for me. So just to clarify, this applies only to appointed offices, not to elected
Yes,
bodies.
it's only for appointed offices.
Okay,
The
that could
type of
probably be made
vacancies,
clearer.
well, it says, chapter 191, vacancies in appointed offices is the title of the ordinance.
Yes.
It also says multi-member bodies, that includes us.
Okay,
Right.
okay, great. So
I agree that
where
we understand what appointed offices means, and I'm not sure that
everyone
everyone would understand the difference.
Okay, so tell me and could you jot this down in your notes?
Sure.
So I'm hearing where,
I mean, I think,
appointed board or appointed multi-member body? You'd want to add the word appointed before multi-member body, or where?
I mean, my question would be more like, is it possible, and I don't know if this is a thing we can do with ordinances, but is it possible to actually just insert like a note at the top saying this ordinance applies strictly to appointed offices, it does not apply to elected offices in the city of Greenfield? or something like that.
Clarity is good.
Clarity
We
is good.
absolutely.
I love clarity.
Okay, could you please could you write that actually right now? Let's write it together. We could change the numbers and have number one be definition.
Mhm.
Definition of appointed office. And, or definition of whatever appointed office. And let's write that together, and then if you could email that to Kathy and Tammy and Gwen and me.
Mhm.
Do you want to propose the language for that?
I don't think out loud for these sorts of things, but like this ordinance applies solely to bodies whose membership is by appointment. It does not apply to elected bodies as positions from the city of Greenfield.
Okay.
Like
Typically, so I'm not attached to this, but just so typically how, having read a lot of ordinances, there's literally like the definition at the beginning, and I think it would be more common to have it be definition of appointed office.
We titled it applicability and then
Okay.
that definition that Rachel just said.
Great,
This is, you know,
that works.
that way we don't have to define everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
love that.
It works. You want to just write that out silently and then read what you've got? Take your time.
No, applicability. This ordinance applies only to bodies whose members are appointed. It does not apply to elected offices or bodies in the city of Greenfield. Or I could put city of Greenfield somewhere else or take.
Does
that
it,
part out.
does that clarify to people who don't know what those words mean? I mean, maybe I'm being too much of a stickler. I'm thinking like maybe it doesn't apply to bodies that that are elected by the general public or something like that.
Big bodies that are elected.
Just elected is
Yeah,
enough.
it's enough. Cool, great, that works for me.
Yeah, great.
Cool.
So yes, I will send that to you and Kathy.
Kathy, Tammy, Claire,
And yeah, sorry, Kathy in my head is like
all three of them.
umbrella for the city clerk's office. Sorry, Tammy and Gwen. I mean, honestly, 6 meetings actually sounds like a lot of leeway to me. And I wondered a little bit about that number and how you arrived at it. I mean, I think it's also, I do recognize that like people volunteer for these things. They really, you know, may have every intention that just like lots of like keeps happening, but 6 meetings, 6 consecutive meetings is a lot to give people, I think.
It's not the year. I think, you know, typically.
If they meet monthly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
If they don't, then
Right, right,
if it's prevent a quorum, that's pretty dire.
Yeah.
In relative terms.
right.
Yeah.
Kathy proposed it. And I proposed that we email people, and then she said, I think this is good, and I said, I'll ask the committee. But as I read it, 6 consecutive meetings is a lot.
It's a lot.
3. I mean, I'm also just making up numbers.
I know, right? I was thinking 4, but I'm also just
Sure,
thinking.
4 is fine too.
Anyone else have a number you want to throw out?
I think 4 is good.
Yeah.
I
That's
think 4 is good.
The only other thought I had, do we want to include a part where the chair of the board notifies the member that they've been absent? Like, is that important? to get
Yeah,
a
and
shot in a sense?
yeah, and there's nothing in here for extenuating well, there's
Just
unexcused
unexcused.
absences.
So an extenuating circumstance is an excused absence. I
Yeah.
broke my leg on the way to the meeting, not coming.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But
I had a mental health crisis and I was committed and I couldn't communicate to the board.
Okay.
You know, I mean, genuinely.
They wouldn't let me out.
the only,
Yeah.
now that I'm like talking this through, the only potential pitfall there is that excused is an action that the chair can take. And if the chair doesn't like the member, but they truly had extenuating circumstances.
Well, and if I can just add to that, I think excused also, we would want to define that clearly because a member of one of these bodies could say, oh, well, I let them know. And the chair said, okay. And so they might think of that as an excused absence,
Yeah,
which is not necessarily like, it's nice of them to give their chair a heads up, but that doesn't change the fact that they're not showing up for the meeting and the meeting maybe can't get quorum.
I mean, illness, in the case of illness or like accident or disability. Like, I think those are.
Yeah, I mean, I just say, yeah, I think that we want to define.
One clear definition of an excuse is a no call, no show, right? Like, that's easy. Yeah,
Yes,
so like if you don't tell anybody, that's obviously an unexcused absence.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you want to write this down?
Sure. Yeah, and I'm not so concerned about, like, that part's
Yeah.
easy, it's sort of where we get into.
I
the
know, it's starting with
more
like the
gray
foundation,
area.
I
Yeah.
could say, yeah.
Fair.
Then. I mean, I imagine part of this is coming from the boards themselves being frustrated.
Yes.
yes.
So we could have it be a vote of the members about whether, I mean, that gets into like, we don't like this person, get rid of them, because they didn't show
Yeah.
up. And so they could accept the excuse or not if there's a contest on it. Like, that's just the thought that came to mind. Because ultimately, like, if you're making judgment, it's not clearly defined, it's gonna be somebody making a judgment, right? So unless we define every single excuse or unexcused, reason you might not be there, excuses. Like, I'm thinking about like for work, right? Like most workplaces have pretty clear parameters like health, illness. No, I said health wise, personal reasons, you gotta take care of a family member or do, your personal day in your day at the bank or whatever. Trying to think about the reasons you can't show up to work. Act of God, like some disaster happens.
Mm.
And that's legal language. Act of God is actually like got a definition, like it's like something you can't control,
What if it's illness or accident of yourself or a family member? Is with, and letting the chairperson know.
I'm not sure.
A question I have, so the concern folks have around somebody being removed from a position because the chair doesn't like you or the majority of the
Yeah.
members don't like you, then isn't there a grievance process that one could take
Mhm.
to the mayor?
Right.
Not in writing yet, not in this yet. I mean, this was like me and Kathy going back and forth and being like, yeah, this feels good enough to take to the conversation here. But currently it says the chair of the board shall report the matter. The appointing order authority shall declare the position. So there's not actually a grievance process written yet.
Okay. But isn't there a general grievance process in the city?
There is no,
For employees, maybe.
yeah. for
Only,
employees.
no, I'm not talking about employees. I read something about grievance to the mayor somewhere
In the
today.
ordinances?
I thought I read it somewhere today. This is what I was reading today.
I haven't encountered it.
It could have been my imagination.
But I think that also it helps to have it in the,
Yeah,
if there is a grievance ordinance, which I don't know what that is, but if there is, which could be, then I think it would need to be cited because somebody trying to contest this
okay.
wouldn't have the probably legal wherewithal to do that research.
Mhm.
I mean, the only danger, quote unquote, as far as being removed from the committee is if you don't show up, right? Like nobody can get rid of you if you show up to every meeting, like you're appointed,
Yeah,
unless there's bad service. What if with the appeal process is you, if you're deemed as having had unexcused absences and you contest the decision, you can appeal to the appointing authority who will then make the final determination or something like that.
okay,
Because these things are creatures, in a sense, legally speaking, of the city council approves and the mayor appoints.
Right.
And that gives the mayor control in that sense of who they want on their appointments to be. Does that make sense? That's the
Yes.
structure.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, currently there's no leeway because it's just a bunch of shells, so that's.
So a section that says like appeal of decision or appeal of
Dismissal,
Yeah.
appeal of dismissal.
Yeah, that's great.
Just take your time and let us,
I'm good.
yeah. Can you read what you have there?
I mean, I'm not writing it in language that we would necessarily like specifically add, but my note is just like that we should possibly add an appeal process that allows the person to appeal to the appointing authority if they want to argue their dismissal from the body.
Would you mind, so that I don't have to do it in my free time, would you mind just taking a moment right now to write that in the Because
Write that
you
where?
know what? Kathy will do it because Kathy's working on this just as much as I am.
Okay.
So if it's written as a request to Kathy.
Yeah.
And it's super clear, just can you please add?
So am I requesting that she add that to the?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
Otherwise, if it's just possibly, I'll end up having to do it later.
I'm really grateful for the verbal resignation not be accepted piece. It's just,
Yeah,
that's a good one.
that was Kathy.
Yeah, no, that's a nice addition.
What are you referring to?
The very last line.
Yeah.
Oh,
Verbal resignations will not be accepted.
right,
Somebody speaking in heat.
yes.
Sure.
Stomping out of the room move.
Yeah, stomping out of the room. Now look.
We did it.
You gotta put it in writing.
You do?
Exactly.
First you think about
Grow up.
And you can't do that while you're stopping out of the room.
Alright.
Can't stomp and write at the same time.
Exactly.
So you send that to me.
I have not sent it yet. I'm gonna,
Cool.
can I send this all together? It doesn't make
Yeah,
sense to me
yeah.
to send individual emails. So yeah,
That works.
I'm taking notes on what I will send.
Okay, so I will not ask you again and I will trust that you will send it.
Okay, yes.
Any other discussion of this proposed ordinance?
The only other thing is if we are reducing 4 consecutive meetings, does it make sense to consider reducing the 1/2 to like a 1/3, or do we feel comfortable having it be half the meetings in the year?
I personally feel okay with
I
half.
feel okay with half total.
Yeah. Yeah. You feel okay with that, total, buddy?
1 second.
It's the second bullet.
It actually wouldn't be hard to miss a third of total meetings over the course of the year,
That's fine.
if they're monthly meetings.
Right, that's true. So
Especially for like, I know the new cannabis. Not the cannabis, the opioid,
Opioid,
I think
Yeah.
I meet like 4 times.
oh,
So
yeah,
that's like twice.
Yeah.
yeah.
right. If you reduce it, you miss a meeting, you're out.
Is there gonna be, okay, so is there gonna be an argument? I did contract writing for too many years.
Yeah.
All right.
Glad to hear.
Really, 6 consecutive meetings or 1/2 of the meetings. We're going 4, but if 1/2 is 6 and it's or,
Hmm.
is there an argument?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Is there an argument? I don't see it yet.
If there's an, okay,
Yeah.
if it says 4 there,
Mhm,
okay, 4 consecutive meetings or 1/2 of all meetings.
mhm. Is there an argument about the inconsistency? between the two?
Precisely.
I don't think so.
You sure?
I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but I really don't think so, just because like there's no reason to me that they have to be consistent with one another because they are like substantively different things, right? Like consecutive meetings.
Right.
Is like, you have missed a whole chunk of stuff but like meetings spread out over the course of the year creates different problems in terms of missing a lot of them. So to me, it is reasonable but we should, I mean, I think we should check all.
Okay, I think it's, I guess it's okay.
The only other thing I can think to further clarify that right before that M dash, prior to the bullet, you could write the word either for either
Yeah.
consecutive meetings or 1/2. And that just says it's like either one of these is valid.
Yes. Not or, either.
Love it.
I like it.
Well, we'll keep the or, but we'll add an either. For either this or that.
Yeah, above the bullets.
We'll keep the either goes here. For either. For
Oh, I
either.
see what you're
either.
saying.
When you send this to Kathy. Can you say that if she and I are in agreement the next couple of days that we're ready for hearing for this next month?
Wait, say that again?
If Kathy and I are in agreement, because I'll take everything that we talked
Yeah.
about. And if we have that all in here, if Kathy and I are in agreement that it's ready for a hearing at the next meeting. And if you could write that note as well, just so it's in 2 places. As long as we're in agreement,
And is that specific to this?
this ordinance.
In October. if Kathy agrees.
Everyone, just let me know when you're ready to move on to the next thing. You ready?
Ready?
Ready. Okay, great. All right, so now we're on page 60. So I don't know the history of why we're being asked to edit this, but we're being asked to edit it. We just passed this, and now there's like tiny changes that they're wanting to make, which.
Who's asking?
I don't
No.
know. The code. Well, we have this letter, so the history of a thing is typically underneath the thing, so. The council recently approved it. This was brought to our attention. I don't know who brought it to their attention. It doesn't say.
The economic development.
To clarify issues with the executive and economic development department.
It's a marinating.
And I'm not seeing a significant difference. They seem very simple to me. But I'm not sure if you all are seeing significant differences.
Yeah, it clarifies who's a voting member. It makes it really clear
That's
that everybody's a voting member.
That is-
the difference.
That is true. It's very significant.
So that's what I would guess. And it's good to clarify that.
I agree. So any discussion of this, anything that is uncertain to you about this?
It's a good idea to bring this to a public hearing in October as well.
Yeah. You writing that down, okay? Let me know when you're ready for hybrid meetings, which is on page 62.
I'm ready.
All right, so. This is coming forward because there's language around, you look at F3. There, so part of this, the hybrid meetings ordinance that we passed last month makes it so that bodies have to explain to the public how they can give public comment. And Kathy and I have been holding off on giving that language to bodies because there's a part of this that says that it'll include instructions on disability or language access accommodations. And so Erin's been trying to figure out how to get that, but it's not currently within the limited administrative budget that the city has. And so we don't want the lack of language access accommodation to keep putting off telling people how to give public comment. So there is one small piece, I think the subject to appropriation piece, I would like to have that specifically under the language accommodation. I think that I want to talk to Kathy about that. We hadn't discussed that piece. But besides that last line, I think this is important to make clear so that we can let people know how to give public comment.
Mhm.
That's what this is about. Any thoughts? I still want to talk to Kathy. As long as Kathy and I are in agreement and hear from you all, then I would say this is ready for a public hearing, but I want to make sure that she and I are.
Second question, what we
Yeah.
just said. So the section 49-8 is subject to appropriation. You want that just on the
Well-
Department of Translation Services or?
I mean,
are you
I think
okay
it's
with it being
I think that it's implicit that it's subject. I mean, if you could have this for every ordinance, it's subject to appropriation. I mean, maybe we should have this under every ordinance, but I don't want people to suddenly say we're not going to have hybrid meetings when we clearly we've appropriated enough funds to have the technology already. And so I want to talk to her about her thinking with that one, which we haven't had the chance to talk about yet.
This makes sense to me.
So just, let's back up just a moment.
Sure.
So F3,
Yes,
it says if available,
that's added language, yeah.
it's added language. So what you're saying is that's fine to proceed?
Yeah, that's not, I asked Kathy how often, and I honestly don't remember her specific answer, but I said, how often are you asked about language access?
Hmm.
She said almost never.
Never.
They almost never get it. And
Okay,
she was like, when people have come, like Spanish speakers in a meeting, she's like, somebody could just I'm like, I could translate, like it's, but it's, if it was like a regular request from our people, like, then I would take a stand for that, but
Yes.
that people don't really ask for it that often, and that's not the intent of the meeting, of the ordinance. The intent of the ordinance is to make public participation
precisely.
more accessible in general.
Fine,
So.
Okay. fine. Okay.
Anything else about this one?
Well,
I guess I'm just curious what like city contact information means in F4.
Yes, or,
Um,
that's a good question.
like I don't know that that's necessary. I mean, it's easy enough to say, like, I guess, you know, contact the clerk's office, like. To me, it would make more sense to say, this is where people can find the recording of this, or, you know, recording and post it on the. Wherever,
You mean where in the law?
say it again.
You mean, are you saying that you would want the where written into the ordinance?
I mean, not necessarily in the ordinance, but. I think that's the more important piece of it, like. I mean, maybe I'm overthinking this, but like city contact information is just a very broad term.
Yeah,
And maybe that's fine, maybe it's like. Up to the chair of the meeting to know who the
Right.
contact person would be and tell people.
it's a good question.
All public notices go through the clerk's office, right?
right, I would think,
Right, like every time a public meeting is posted, it's the clerk's office posting it.
right.
Right.
The
So,
notice, but not the video recording minutes transcript. I'm not sure.
Right, that's the
That's the
I don't know who's
question.
holding that.
Yeah,
Because in general, like, you know, if people are curious what happened at the council or school committee, it's like, go watch, you know, go to GCTV's YouTube page, but
right, exactly.
I'm curious where all of these recordings are actually gonna live.
Okay,
I don't know.
could you write that in your email to Kathy? Thank you. That's
I
a
would
great
not.
question.
like,
And like, is it different is it, because I don't want to say the where here because that could change over time and I don't want to have to keep amending the ordinance if
Yeah.
the where changes.
Totally.
But I think it is important for us to at least know the answer to that question.
Yeah,
one thought that just came to mind is public records law, you know, somebody makes not open meeting, but a public records request, they could ask for like a transcript and then the clerk's office has the right to say it would cost us, you know, whatever the person typing it up's salary was, you know, for this many hours. And so that flexibility maybe is there, you know, city contact, right? The vagueness is there because it might be different people who do the job.
Yeah,
You know, like a transcript is not something that's regularly done. Like no one's going to write a transcript.
right.
You know, Tammy will write excellent minutes, but it's not like verbatim what we said. Fortunately, will be in there every time.
Right,
All the ums, you know, et cetera.
Although it would be so easy, there's women with. Yeah, like it's so
goddamn
easy
robots.
it's so easy to transcribe things now.
Shaking my breast.
I mean, it just is recognizing reality, like. Podcasts would not be possible without transcript services.
Such a Luddite.
What that?
I'm a Luddite about this. Yes.
It saves time.
my
Okay,
pen,
yeah. Yes, okay, so can you both write that if Kathy and I are in agreement on this, then it's ready for a hearing?
Sure.
So I'm putting under Kathy. Going to read it with numbers. Going to hybrid. Okay, all right, now this one. Okay, so this was one of the things that I looked at, the ordinance spreadsheet. And I'm still not exactly sure what to say about this.
Farming? We're on
Yeah.
Farming?
Yeah, so it's farming, it's on page 65, and the challenging piece when I read this was that the current language says that the city shall be responsible for providing a copy of the right to farming ordinance annually to property owners through an annual legal notice in the local newspaper, and that the notice shall prominently be posted at City Hall, and it should be on the website. And it's not happening. It's never really happened. And the clerk's office is like, please don't give us another task, and
Right.
that costs money. And when I said, who shall post it, again, the clerk's office was like, please don't make us do it. The mayor should do it, or the agricultural commission should do it.
Agricultural commission should do it.
Okay,
I mean, that makes sense to me. That's my
okay,
sort of gut reaction.
okay.
Yeah.
Cool. What
And
do you all think?
we're cutting the newspaper aspect out entirely, the legal notice piece.
I just don't think it's necessary nowadays. And I really think that the website is the key thing. And I really think that if people are curious, maybe they would look up the ordinance. I don't know. Like, it's online. And does it even need to be on the website when it's in the ordinances? Like, what posting is needed? What posting do you all think is needed about this, basically?
I mean, my first question about that is, is there anything specified in MGL about what posting of this is needed?
Right, because public
Because there may
hearings.
be, like, some things that about posting in the newspaper have to be posted in the newspaper.
Okay. All right, that's a great question. Okay,
I have a lot of wiggle room.
okay, so maybe we
So we
should,
might.
if MGL stipulates this,
Yeah, I think
Then we
we
should
should
say-
check that.
and then maybe we say the agricultural commission has to do it. Like, again, if we say the city shall, no one is the city.
Right.
We're all the city. Like, that's
Exactly.
not a thing. It's not gonna get done. Are you looking it up, Jen? I see.
I mean, I'm not gonna, but. okay. Found the farm bill on the state level, but
48. Is that what you're looking at?
no, this is. Several different chapters have farm provisions.
Where do you,
40A, the farm bill. or the-
That's what I'm reading here.
where do you see it?
But that's
Yeah, at the
just
top.
zoning.
Under
48
purpose and
well,
intent and
right.
scope, it references MGL
Yeah.
40A,
Right, which
MGL
is-
90.
Which I'm looking
Yeah,
at
it
here.
references a bunch of
You have
different
that.
parts of MGL.
Bunch of.
Yeah,
It doesn't say anything here. It's 48 is zoning in
so I think
general.
it'll
Yeah.
take a while to find.
Then the question is, then honestly, I don't have all the different ordinances that are on my list right now. I think that we could we ask the clerk's office to ask the lawyer to let us know, like, or does anyone here want to take on that research? Like, you all are gonna have ordinances that you all need to work on.
I mean,
Well, I haven't taken on any ordinances and I'm still waiting for you guys to give me assignments.
It is good.
Yep.
Don't look at me.
Yeah, that's-
Oh, you were gonna hand me hand
We're
off
about to
some
get
stuff.
there. We're about to get there.
Oh,
Do
okay.
you want to take this piece on?
Farming, yes.
Okay,
Less
take-
for cows. All
Take
right.
on farming, and the question is, are there state statutory requirements around disclosure notification for right of farming ordinances?
Yeah.
Never thought I'd ask such a question.
welcome to the public office.
Thanks, been here a little bit, but I haven't asked that question yet.
I'm loving it. State statutory requirements.
Around disclosure notifications for right of farming ordinances. And if it helps you to write the note for yourself, page 65
I got it in my
has the
hand. I
MGL.
got it in my hand.
Great. Thank you. And then once you have that information, if you could send it to the Kathy's, which means Kathy, Tammy,
Show you their
and
band. And then-
The Kathy.
Cassie,
and
you're
Catherine.
adopting my approach.
Send it to Kathy. Send it to me. And Kathy, Tammy, Quinn. Kathy, Tammy,
Quinn and Tammy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then ask them to send it to well, y'all don't care that much. I mean, you'll find out next month, like.
Yep.
Yeah, this
It's
is-
like being surprised.
I
This
might
is-
not.
This is
think
not
about
a
the
hot
law
item
between
at
now
this
and
point.
then.
I'm
No,
just
but we
saying.
need to clear it
We
up.
need to clean it up, but it's not
Clean it
like
up.
pitchforks are not at the door.
No, pitchforks
Okay.
aren't at the store.
Right.
So
Unless there's a rooster outside your window.
Cows being let
It's-
loose in downtown
it
Greenfield.
is a thing. I
It's a
mean,
thing.
it actually is a topic that comes up.
Right, so you drive into
Yeah.
a lot of towns and you said right to farm town is
Right.
posted.
I've always
as you
wondered what it
drive in.
means.
They have the right to farm. Who's gonna argue? There's the farms.
Yeah, but people argue when roosters are crowing outside their windows.
I get that too.
Is it true?
I live next door to some lovely chickens myself and I get that.
That word chicken, do you guys remember this last year? The whole thing, like, you can't ban roosters everywhere because there were chickens there and not hens.
Oh, yeah, poultry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, like, it gets down to that.
That complaint came from my neighborhood
Yeah.
because there were roosters last year in the hen house at the John's On.
Right.
And, you know, I woke up with them anyway and they were
Sure.
fine. I
Yeah.
was pretty funny. Of
Yeah.
course there are. That's what happens.
Right.
Welcome.
Sometimes they're boys. you
All
know?
right. So you'll take that on and you'll let the Cathys and the Catherine know.
I will do my best.
Sounds good. Thank you for taking that on.
Take that out of there so I don't
Okay,
ignore it.
so then we're moving on to page 67, and this is another one that I took on. I think this is ready for a hearing next month. And there's like so many pieces to this that are all very, very small that I don't really remember. All of the pieces, I've read it over again before this meeting, but I've worked on this with two people I'm grateful for it, and I'm not remembering their names, from the, who are in the Conservation Commission. I could quickly find their names. But we went back and forth about language and cleared it up and different versions. And so the strike through pieces are no longer, and the bold, we're proposing to delete the strike through pieces and to add in the bolded pieces. And they're around applications for exemptions. And the filing process for applications for exemptions and coordination with other boards. I do not know why Kathy added some of the things in red. But she,
I like the part where you got rid of having to deliver 7 copies.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's like basically minor stuff, but for the Conservation Commission, believe that our wetlands ordinance is pretty decent. It's just,
I think the red one on page 74 is just so you don't have to edit it every time they change the name of the document.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know why some things are in bold and some things are in red.
I'm not gonna lose too much sleep.
Nope, me neither, so I just don't have to explain it to you. So that's that.
Yeah, overall, if the changes are what's recommended by the Concom folks and they think this makes sense and you think it makes sense, I'm fine with it.
Yep, okay. Any questions about the wetlands ordinance?
Thank you for doing that.
Sure. I look forward to seeing that it's complete, so we can put that for a hearing next month.
That is chapters. Okay, we're getting through. Chapter 473. Here are the people.
Okay. Ready for the next piece? Page 79. All from the Human Rights Commission said that they're having a hard time getting quorum because they're currently required to have 9 members. And we are striking through 9 and putting in 7.
It's fabulous.
Yeah, great. So that's all.
We'd go with 5 if we could, but just because I think a 5-person meeting is much more productive than a 7-person meeting. But, you know.
They're asking for 7, so.
And so they can have it.
Okay.
Any discussion on that? Okay, we're ready for a hearing for that one.
Yep.
The next one, page 80, the Ways and Means Committee, there's no need for this separate ordinance because it's already under city council
Like,
rules
why
of
does this-
procedure.
it's-
I don't know.
So funny.
I mean, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
We didn't never elect a secretary at the time I was.
This is not,
But also,
So-
yeah, this is a different body.
Okay, right.
well, no,
Or maybe it's not. That's a president shall appoint That's so strange.
Yeah, yeah, it's weird.
You don't know anything about the origin of why this
No, I don't.
exists and there isn't a similar ordinance for other bodies.
No, I just know that currently rules of procedure has our committees under it.
Great.
So, any discussion of that besides saying we're ready for hearing?
So
Yeah.
what is this? I don't understand what this even
So
is.
there's currently a law that says the things that are struck through. But there isn't a separate Ways and Means Committee consisting of 5 members who shall reside in the city and be registered voters therein. We don't have that any, because we have a Ways and Means Committee of the City Council.
Okay,
And so this is irrelevant and ready to be gotten rid of because we don't do this thing and don't do this thing.
okay, there we go. Now I get it.
Got it?
Got it.
All right,
All right.
so we can have a hearing on getting rid of that. Yes?
Yes.
People
All right.
make jokes.
Yeah, moving right along.
So now we are shifting to the part of our conversation, which is about giving Patty some work and asking where everyone is at with your stuff.
Mhm.
So if you want to look at this with me, Patty, that might be helpful for you. So Quinn made this. Quinn made this spreadsheet for us at the beginning of the year. And we put our names under counselors. And so I'm curious what conversation you all, if no conversation, what conversation you had? None. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have one piece that I'm curious to ask you to take on. Besides that, I'm in conversation with a bunch of different people and I need to have conversations with a bunch of different people. I feel like I'm on top of my pieces. The one piece that I'm curious if you take on and then share your thoughts with me about is the public assemblies language. I imagine that you might have some good insights into that.
Yeah.
And I think it deserves some thought, but I really trust your thoughts on it. So
Okay,
thank you.
now let me ask a simple question.
Yes.
So I have that, I do believe, that spreadsheet.
Okay,
And so if I click on it, it'll come up for me to review?
it should, yeah.
Okay.
Let me see under
You want to say
share.
Luddite idiot? Okay, computer fool.
Well, look,
Cry.
you have
I spent my
editing
day crying over
Today?
Act Blue.
today.
Oh, dear.
Act
Well, sorry.
Blue.
That's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You practically have to do a retina scan now to get it done. It's ridiculous. Anyways, it's done.
You have editing access, which is right there. So you should be able to just open it and change things. And the only things that you really should need to change are these, just like when you're, right now it says in progress, there's not much you need to do here. And you click here to get the Google Doc language and see if
Yes.
it works.
Good.
Well,
The file you requested does not exist.
So that's true in several places. I noted mine, and tagged Quinn. And like I made comments on some of these things and just said like, hey Quinn, this says the file doesn't exist, but I think that that's true of a number of them.
could you write the email to Quinn and say, thank you for being the secretary of this meeting. I really appreciate that. Could you write to Quinn and say there are many chapters in here that aren't going to files? Can you please go through all of them in part 3 and just link them?
Yeah.
But in the meantime, you don't actually need to be able to look at this. Will make your job easier because it's in Google Docs and everyone will be able to see it. But you can just look up you want to find any law in Greenfield, you just go to Greenfield E-code and it'll come up.
Okay.
Right, and they're all here, right? So you could copy and paste it and look at it that way.
Excellent.
And I have one thing on public ordinances, I think that I can. Public assemblies, I think, I'm gonna look if I have some other sample language that I can send you. Okay, so then. Besides that, I don't feel the need to. I can just say that all the pieces that I have are in progress. And.
What's the end date for this?
So
Really?
why the battery? Okay, really, there isn't one. If we're not complete, we're doing a better job.
Review code forever.
We are doing, you can change an ordinance at any time.
Uh-huh.
And
But wasn't there a goal for the end of October at some point?
The
or
goal is
something
the
like
end of, the goal is the end of December.
that? Oh, okay.
I don't like things to drag on. That is not my
I don't like it
preferred
either.
style. I wanted to, I really want it, when I say as soon as possible, I mean as soon as possible.
Yeah.
However, we are doing a more thorough job than any other previous council.
I get it.
And we're volunteers. So really within reason, as soon
Yes.
as possible.
Okay,
And if necessary, this will continue next year.
okay. Got it. All right.
I will,
Sure to that.
I mean, I can say right now, Patty, I think I didn't like go to the next step in my head of handing these off to you because the files didn't exist. So I just got caught up there and
Yeah.
not knowing what the thing is, but I would be happy to give you 224, chapter 224 and chapter 259.
And
Which
what is
are building construction and is 224 and 259 is excavations.
Building construction
building permits.
and then what was it?
259. is
Excavations?
Yeah, so I'm actually just gonna, oh, maybe I'm not.
The body is found. What is to be done?
Yeah.
All right. Twisted.
Are you changing it, Rachel? Do you want me to?
Yes.
Okay.
But honestly, in looking over the rest of these, they're like, I am late in getting to the stuff that I committed to, which I apologize for, but I would like to work on the other ones that have my name on them. And some of them I have, like, I've already started talking to folks at the city and all of that. So,
Okay,
and it doesn't feel overwhelming to me.
okay.
We need to connect about animals.
Yeah, you can have any of them. Yeah, no, it's, that's, I should, all
Hand me a couple.
right, let's, the only one I really, we need to connect on the dog bite one, so I do want to commit to that, and then the only other
I'm on
one,
the side of the dog. Okay, just letting you know.
that's fair. And then the demolition delay, I'm interested in, because I've talked to the historical commission about it, so that's chapter 241, I want to hold on to that.
I'd love it if you will
Yes.
hang on to development review. with me
Okay,
also.
yeah, 100%. So just going through the top,
Yeah, let's go from the top down.
how do you feel about public consumption of alcoholic beverages? Any feelings about it?
I'm all for it.
All right, great, then I think let's,
What number is that?
that's chapter 209. So
And part of this list is a little misleading because some of them, look like, a person's name is next to 27 things, but it's actually like 6 of them are just all the same chapter and the.
Okay,
And I do
Chapter
think that
might be
one
short.
does need work because it doesn't allow for like drinking on a sidewalk technically if there's like a patio area except for a restaurant.
okay.
So it definitely does need, that's technically all illegal,
Businesses.
right, currently. So this one definitely,
Yeah, this one is
It's-
a touchy
I
one.
will
probably.
review.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else there?
yeah, sure, let's keep going. Do you know anything about electrical standards?
No.
I don't either. If you want to do that,
I
you're,
call the electrician when I need a light bulb change, for God's sakes. I'm
Yeah.
afraid of electricity.
okay.
I mean, if you're already talking to the building department about the construction one, it might make sense to
Yeah, let's give you that.
take
So
on.
that's chapter 2.
What are you giving me?
Chapter 254, electrical standards. And guns.
Oh, the guns, firearms, do you want that?
Sure. All right, fabulous.
What number is that?
That is chapter 270, firearms. I'm gonna keep junk dealers and collectors, because why not?
Okay,
And then I got a whole bunch about sewers.
no.
Okay, I'll keep those. And then street sidewalks and public places I'm interested in, but I'm also happy to share any of that. There's a lot of different pieces. Actually, if you're gonna look at the alcohol one and you want to look at chapter 285, sidewalk outdoor seating, I think that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah,
And then there's also, let's see, private maintenance of structures, which is, oh, and it has an article number. Sorry, I should have specified that. So it's chapter 285. This is the sidewalk outdoor seating.
Chapter 385?
Thank you. Chapter 385, street sidewalks, public places, article 14, sidewalk outdoor seating.
okay.
Then I think the other one that ties into all of that is chapter 385, article 9, private maintenance of structures. Because I'm thinking about like if you have an outdoor patio and there are people drinking alcohol on it and there's outdoor seating, that's all kind of tied together. Okay.
Okay, that feels like enough.
Perfect. Well, thank you.
Okay.
And the animal one is interesting, actually. We should talk about
Yeah.
it. We've been saying this for months, but something came up at EDC last night about kennels that's actually gonna affect what
Okay.
we
I'm
rate here, so.
interested to know what that's about.
Okay.
Okay, so I'd like to go from the top to just be like, I'd love a sense of our timeline and our goals. I really would love to be complete with this by the end of the year. And I am curious, we said at the beginning of this year that we just look at general legislation. I don't think there's any harm done actually in the next council looking at the other parts. Like I think how we legislate and govern is really important. And we just within our scope of possibility didn't feel like we could look at other pieces, but I want to talk to Laura and possibly about taking on the other pieces next year. So to give space to that, I really would like us to complete this by the end of the year. And I'm curious, does it feel reasonable to bring something forward? Like, it's not going to be reasonable to complete this by the end of the year. I would like to, but we're not going to complete it all by the end of the year. But I guess my question is like, what sense do you have of your timelines? Like, do you think that you'll be able to bring something forward if the 5-day rule is the end of September or the end of October or the end of November? Just trying to get a sense of when you all think that you could possibly bring things forward.
I need a concrete deadline because my life is very busy. And so if
What is the deadline you want to give yourself?
I think, so like the dog bite one, right? Like that one's complicated and affects a lot of people. I wouldn't want to do that in October. I frankly don't want to do that before November. Like I think October is too soon to like commit to that because it's a very busy month in the rest of the city. And so, but I do think that by November, that's something that I think Rachel and I could connect about and get something put together.
All right, so hold on, I'm creating a column 13 that's like timeline aim. So, and again, knowing that we're submitting things the last Tuesday of the month. So what is the timeline that you're giving yourself to submit? Is it the last Tuesday of October, the last Tuesday of November?
You feel that. So we want to talk about this as a full council in November, or I'm sorry, December or November?
I don't have strong feelings about it, but
If it's submitted the last Tuesday of October,
Do a
the
discussion.
hearing would not be until December.
right, because we have to talk about it in November and then the hearing would be.
Let's plan on that. End of October, we'll figure something out.
Okay.
Okay,
And
and
then let's do October.
do you want to just look through everything that you have? and-
October sounds right.
The end of October?
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, I can also tell you that I will not be at ANO in October.
in October,
Yeah.
but in November and
In
December?
November, I mean, as far as I know, I will be, but yeah, I have a
Yeah.
conflict in October,
Okay.
so I'm
Okay,
not gonna be bringing anything for it.
so end of October feels good for your things?
I think so.
Okay, end of October feels good for dogs, animals. I am honestly not sure. A lot of the pieces that are on my plate, I'm trying to coordinate with the homelessness and ad hoc homelessness.
Mhm.
So there are a lot around that stuff. And so it depends for me, but I am aiming to do it as soon as possible. Does the end of October just feel right for everything on your plates? Like, does that just feel like a good aim for everything?
Yeah,
Yeah?
You aren't Davis.
Okay, great. So you just said you have a need for external or timelines. Does that feel like that
That's
meets that
fine.
need?
Yeah, no, I mean, otherwise I just won't do it.
Okay,
Frankly.
great. So
it's-
we are making a commitment to each other right now that we are going to do our damnedest to have everything into Kathy by the end of October.
yes.
All right. That means that the November and the December meetings, please do everything in your power to be present because all of your input is really important. Right. Okay, great. So everyone feels good about what's on your plates?
Peachy.
Feel great.
Strawberries.
Yep.
Strawberries. Peachy.
Love storm.
Alba.
All right, well,
This is so funny. Last night's EDC meeting took like way longer than any of us expected that it would, and this one went much faster than I thought it would,
Oh, really?
so.
I like an efficient meeting. Thank you for
Yeah.
being efficient.
It's going to happen. This is low 50.
It's good. All right. think we're good. Is there anything about the ordinance review process that anyone else would like to say?
Just appreciate the way that you're running this and that in the clerk's office.
Very
and all the
organized. Thank you.
Yeah.
I
Thanks.
love organized.
I
Yes,
can't
much
do it
easier.
otherwise. I can't do it.
That's superpower.
My brain will not allow.
Right person to do it.
Good.
I like words too, so I too. All right, I'm closing that. So I am, there may be official language I need to say. I think there's not though. Let me just double check. All right. So the next meeting will be on October 8th, 2025, 6:30 PM here. There will be several public hearings that day. And I can have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
All right, adjourned. We are officially
Thanks for
adjourned
coming.
at 10:08.
Okay. So.
Bye.
Okay.